the front row with the rookie sensation. Row 3 headed by Rodrigo, then Garcia and Rossi. Antonelli, another former Moto3 winner. Minggu and Fenati. They go from the 6th row of the grid. A couple of really experienced Italians there. He heads row 8 from Salac and Artigas. Nepa, Izdihar and Lorenzo Polona on row 9 with Tatsuki to Simon Crowfart. So much hype and expectation coming up with MotoGP later on. One of the big pre-race favourites, one of the big...
Yeah, Jack, it's not long since you've been out there. You know what the conditions are like, and you were awesome on Moto3.
I've been studying the wind there in the box quite heavily, but no, I mean, these boys are going to be rather difficult, so yeah, hopefully all the boys can stay on and bring it home safe.
Thanks for your time, Jack, and best of luck in your race.
18 laps coming up for Moto3. Don't forget, we've now got new track sensors to determine track.
Yeah, was it last year, wasn't it, Jaume Masia in this very Grand Prix? Yeah, lost the podium on the last lap, but our first silverware of 2021. Darryn Binder, Ethan Guevara, John McPhee on the front row. Jeremy going to be in the melee as well.
So often in the past in Moto3, the eventual champion has found his way onto the podium.
Completing the warm-up lap on board then with the most experienced, wisest old head in this Moto3 World Championship this racing. They expect him to deliver a championship challenge. They think he's more than capable of finishing inside the top 3 in the World Championship. Will they have...
Keeping an eye on the likes of Minggu, Antonelli out on circuit. Of course, no Sky VR 4th in MotoGP later.
Look at the marshal at the front of the grid. He's struggling to keep hold of that red flag, keeping the riders ready to...
And we start with Moto3. The 2 Petronas Sprinta Honda riders on the front row. The lights out. Good start from Binder. On pole position, a really good start. Garcia got a good start from row 3 as well. Guevara going past...
By Gabriel Rodrigo, then from the 3rd row in 7th place. He's already gained 5 place on that run to the first corner. The Argentinian up into...
There is Romano Fenati way further back, but it's a great start from Darryn Binder. Rodrigo in 2nd. Ethan Guevara then in 3rd.
Ritz, he's already out of this Grand Prix, and that's a big crash, and he looks hurt. Big crash then for one of our main protagonists.
Dixon, he's gone.
No room there whatsoever for the Turk. So drama already on the first lap here in Qatar. Foggia out on the grid. That's a sorry sight. Dennis Foggia's season getting off to the worst possible start.
Great move there from Ethan Guevara on the gas, Aspar and Masia.
John McPhee's regrouped, having got a little bit barged around on the run down to first corner. There he is on the 17 machine in the early part of this race. Binder from Ethan Guevara there in 2nd. They all bunch up, coming through turn 15. We head to the final.
Into turn 16.
And that was a great indication of how much sand and dust has been blown onto this circuit. Risky move there, bowled by Masia. You could just see...
It's Guevara, the rookie, that led, but not for long. Look at the slipstream effect. As we go into turn 1, it's Rodrigo who...
Binder was leading coming out of the final corner. Look how crucial the slipstream was with that headwind as well. Binder's now been pushed.
Having led across the line, is down to 8th place.
Yeah, and you could see how much slipstream Acosta got. He was seeing Italians in this field, about a disastrous start. Foggia already out on the very first lap, and now a double long lap penalty for a jump start for him.
Years ago, didn't he? A double long lap penalty. Well, that's almost certainly podium chances gone for the Italian. Rodrigo, it is that leads the numbers.
Leading this Qatar Grand Prix. I think it's fair to say we've got some hot young talent emerging in Moto3 in 2020.
So it's Acosta that leads from Rodrigo. Oh, it's Ricardo Rossi who's gone down. Number 54, he'd started so well.
Yeah, it's a double long lap penalty, and now Ricardo Rossi down too.
Let's regroup as Masia goes up ahead. Advantage, but let's see if the slipstream effect comes into play here. It's going to be an Akiayo 1-2 in a moment. There's McPhee and Binder.
4 or 5 riders, and on the brakes into the first corner. We know how good Binder is on the front end of that Honda, just like he was in the KTM, and he's back up. Coming through turn 2. It's getting very tight between him and Andrea Minggu.
There is Xavier Artigas, of course, hard rider out on circuit at the moment. He sports the number 43. There's then a bit of a gap back to the chasing pack that features...
He's taken down McPhee. Has he taken down Rodrigo as well? That was clearly the fault of Artigas. You could see nothing that they could do about that.
That has left a big gap.
Artigas was just a wrecking ball.
Good there is he as Rodrigo. Look at the dust blowing in here from the wind. That's being investigated, that incident, including those 4 riders.
Xavier Artigas, when he looks back on that one, he'll realise he was never making the corner.
Yeah, he might be in a spot of bother for that.
Irresponsible riding, I do feel.
line then, and we must continue, and we do. Look at them. Garcia, it was that led, but already he's overtaken. Here comes Masia. He leads now.
Really good to see him back up there. It was a difficult 2020 on that 658 quadricorta Honda. We did wonder whether Pasture,
Ratoba, Salac, Yamanaka are all in the pack chasing here at the front end. Brilliant, brilliant racing. And Jason De Pasquier.
That looked like, was it Acosta or Masia that was really, really wide? It was Acosta, yeah, and that let Masia through.
It's free. Currently under investigation, the incident involving Mino, McPhee, Alcoba and Artigas, who I think might be in a Binder, who was on pole. Then Pedro Acosta, the Red Bull rookie champion, and Antonelli, Garcia, Rodrigo, Sasaki, and then Guevara.
Tatsuki Suzuki, because he started right at the back of the field. He's charging through the pack pretty impressively. That looked like Sergio Garcia.
A number of riders have exceeded track limits already. Once you exceed it 3 times, you get a warning on your screen. Wide as we make our way onto the start-finish straight. It will be Masia that leads, or will it, across the line, because here comes Acosta with Nico. After the late breakers, he leads again into turn 1.
Yeah, you've got to be razor sharp to outbrake Darryn Binder into the first corner. Nobody able to do it. Lap number 5. Devastating for John McPhee. That's a tough one to swallow. He's in that league group, looking pretty comfortable.
And that's the worst sometimes, when you're not even sure it's coming. Poor old John McPhee. There is Alcoba as well. We're looking back from Jaume Masia.
That he's done wrong there, and he's going to have a penalty coming as well, as Fenati does take one of his double long lap penalties. And on his debut here back in 2012 in second place. Podiums and wins have been few and far between since that date.
Oh, it's irresponsible riding that he's been collared for, Carlos Tata. I didn't see that one, but there's so much going on here. And Ethan Guevara, they look anything but rookies.
Tata apparently then was involved and certainly proved costly and very, very painful by the looks of it for Foggia.
We're only on lap 5, so much has happened. So straight, tried to get slipstream. It's just about Binder, I think. Look at Sergio Garcia as well coming through.
Yeah, what about
Rodrigo?
Slipstream and through into the lead he goes.
Kaito Toba, the winner from a couple of years ago now, is up into the top 5. Oh, that was a little bit further ahead. Yes, definitely Tatai's crashed that. A nudge to
Fuming Foggia there, I think, to say the least. He looks absolutely livid, doesn't he? And quite rightly so, to be taken out on the very first lap of the season. Care what anybody says, there's going to be nobody in history that will do a better long lap penalty than Johan Zarco in Brno last year.
It's Kaito Toba there.
Lovely.
Goes through a lovely move from the Japanese rider.
He's not lacking confidence in the front end.
We were looking at a replay. Darryn Binder's dropped all the way back to 10th place.
Yeah, some riders have had a lot of work to do earlier on. Started right at the back, didn't even do a lap time in Q2 last night.
Kaito Toba's teammate Max
coming through. Thank you very much. 2 for the price of 1 at turn 16.
And it just seems you can go from 1st to 6th here as they make their way into turn 1. Brilliant racing as ever here. Is that Ayumu Sasaki?
Binder had his nose up the inside of the Japanese rider, so Binder working his way again back to the front.
It is. Ayumu Sasaki's come through from 5th. Sasaki, then it's Binder, Toba, Guevara, Rodrigo, Garcia and Suzuki. On board here, looking back from Masia.
That's Tatai taking the long lap, so as it stands right now, the long lap penalties have been completed by the men who needed to do them.
Dennis Foggia got on the podium, didn't he, at the end of last year in Portimao, having taken a long lap penalty, so all is not lost yet as Ethan Guevara just go pit lane. John McPhee, nothing broken. He's okay, probably not so happy though. Number 5, Jaume Masia, it is that
got history, and quite recent history at that as well. They had a little bit of contact, didn't they, late on last night in Q2, which both got into that battle after what happened last night.
Exchanging paint there, a duel of Japan. Kaito Toba and the Ayumu slipstream of Darryn Binder, and there goes Darryn Binder and Toba and Ayumu Sasaki as well.
Yeah, 6, 9, 4, 6.
14 riders covered by 1.8. This is anyone's for the win on the last lap. Rodrigo up the inside of Jaume Masia then.
His teammate De Pasquier in 12th.
Oh, that was very, very tight. Ethan Guevara there fancied a move, and Yamanaka. We've not seen either of those guys fighting in the sharp end of races in their careers so far.
Rodrigo. That's brilliantly up the inside of Masia then, into turn 9.
Suzuki the 658 Squadra Course Honda rider who started from the back of the grid. Remember, he is a few days test home would be an outstanding effort really from the number 24.
Yeah, there's been a few whispers around that they were worried that he might even finish the race, because the wonderful thing though, can't he? That's what's going to be keeping Suzuki going right now, because he can see within touching distance not just the podium but
one. He just about holds on to it. Masia is back up into third, Rodrigo fourth.
Binder's Hondas. This lead group is what, 12 riders I guess you could say. Nicola Antonelli, sorry, 13. Antonelli's one. Binder trying to inflict immediate retaliation, but there's no way through.
Darryn Binder, the winner in Catalonia last year, his first free victory.
They sweep now towards the right hand of turn 7. On a real very, very shortly. Turn 9's an overtaking opportunity here on the brakes. Is anybody going to go for it up the inside of Tober? No, he slams the door shut.
Leads the way.
Yeah, this is like gold, isn't it, for the likes of Guevara and Acosta. Two rookies in real good stead for the future.
You know, you were right when you called it a couple of days ago, Matt, about Koto, but perhaps the pressures of bones out of that incident earlier on after the race, I don't blame them, to be honest. They've got to try and keep their eyes on what's happening right here. Race direct.
CIB in green power KTM. Binder with the slipstream again. What a missile that is. Rodrigo. Oh, that would look like there was a bit of...
It is Jaume Masia who leads from Acosta and Sasaki, then the two Aspar gas machines.
The exit of turn 2.
Nico Antonelli, who was present at the start of the race, starting to get busy again now.
I think he wasn't even 9/10 of a second down over the line, and it is Koffler who, when I just say that though, has seemed to latch back onto that.
Philip Salach, good to see him back in the thick of it as well. Injury-plagued season last year, exactly.
Well, Gino Borsoy pre-race said that they felt Sergio Garcia had got one of the best, if not the best,
which is why the Argentinian was shaking his head.
Yeah, this is coming out of turn 2. Rodrigo on the helmet of Gabriel Rodrigo.
Artigas has just entered the pits. It's been a night.
Racing is the old cliche. Well, we've got some great racing. We've had plenty of rubbing already as well.
8 laps to go in jeans of Garcia and Guevara. Here comes Binder though, dive bombing his way up into 4th.
Yeah, Binder's front brake lever protecting the Red Bull KTMs that are looking really, really strong at this point of the race. Adrian Fernandez has got to go through a long lap penalty as well.
To Reisa Yamanaka in 8th. It's a half a second gap. So it's
Garcia. He's made quite a number of moves there. He's got a lot of trust in that front end and not scared to jam it in there, that's for sure.
Go. On board here with on board with Darryn Binder, looking at Jaume Masia.
This Grand Prix.
Doesn't he always? He's always paint swapping, Darryn Binder, always.
Proper Moto3 race.
Here comes Darryn Binder up the inside. Oh, he thought about looking to try and outbrake Darryn Binder, can't make it through. Rodrigo is there as well, ahead of the two Gas Gaviota Aspar Team.
It will be Acosta that will just hold on to the advantage going into braking zone to start lap number 12 by Binder. He just took the space on the inside, so Masia had nowhere to go.
Oh, dear, Rodrigo. Yeah, that's gone wrong, horribly wrong.
Right, that's the main thing. Having already had one of their riders, Alcoba, wiped out by Artigas.
Yeah, he had contact with. A group of 7 that were getting away are not getting away anymore, and we all of a sudden have Jaume Masia.
2 rookies, incredibly, inside the top 6 at this stage of the race. It shows the class and GP Rookies Cup, but this is a huge step up. This is a different league, different level World Championship, but he looks like a seasoned pro on this. Led coming into the first sector, having used the slipstream to such brilliant effect.
A bit wide there for Philip Salach as well. Yamanaka and De Pasquier, their best rides we've ever seen in Moto3. There is Aki the lead. The door was open there from Darryn Binder, and through he goes.
Yeah, Nicky Io, now crew chief 2, our race leader. Nicely done.
Well, so far there haven't been too many times in this race, not too many of them. Do you want to lead going into turn 16? That's the big question.
Seen it happen in the past a few times where the race leader coming out the final turn, they just can't hold it on that
half length back coming out of turn 16. Get some good drive and you're in the money. Across the line here then we go. You might be able to see across the line. Masia led out of turn 16. Does he? Well, Sasaki it is now that leads from Garcia, who's up into 2nd. chopping and changing all the while.
Seconds back of your race leader, Masia.
Well, these are slow-mo replays.
Red Bull KTM are getting their money's worth out of these shots with 3 men inside the top 4 in that group, of course, and Gas.
Third place. Sasaki leads. He was 15th on the grid. He was talking big coming into this one. He said he felt confident.
All that confidence he had himself was very, very well placed.
Philip Salah.
Start-finish straight. Salah is one of the bigger lads in this Moto3 field.
Right-handers, he's so quick in the final few sectors here. There is Guevara, who started, of course, on the front row.
Acosta, rookie on rookie here through turn 16. Thought about a move up the inside of Guevara, no way through. To hold the line, the lead over the line, he does so.
Incredible. Look at these guys coming through. That was absolutely these Red Bull boys from getting to the sharp end, can they? Acosta leads again, the rookie. We've got 2 rookies. It's
out of turn 2, not for the first time out of turn 2. There's been a close shave for Rodrigo.
Darryn Binder just squeezes on.
Yeah, Sasaki here trying to put one over on his old team, of course. Former Petronas Sprinta Racing.
This would be a big result for Garcia if he got on the podium. He's been labelled as a man that can only really perform on home soil.
It's with Simon Crafart. They were confident, quietly confident, that throughout the weekend and the test,
there's no one working harder in this race than Philip Salach at the moment, number 12. As Matt rightly mentioned, you can see Vizza get into the nitty-gritty part of this lap. He's forcing his way through, back up into the top 8. Couple of laps. 3 laps to go when they cross the line then here in Qatar. Yeah, it's Acosta who leads.
First corner, and it will be Sasaki that's going to have the inside line to the first corner. The Japanese rider back at the front.
6.
Just wonder when the Tatsuki Suzuki might be thinking about making a charge forward. He's been in 13th place for such a long time. Podium place up for grabs. All the motivation he needs.
Well, maybe, Matt, he's just been cleverly sort of...
Yeah, keeping a bit of tyre left.
Yeah, he dropped all the way back to 13th at one stage. He's done a brilliant job to now get back into contention for the race win.
Yeah, coming into this race. Where we're at right now here in Qatar, so keep an eye on Gabriel Rodrigo, who's had to regroup a couple of times, regain his...
To Rodrigo, 2 riders who would expect in themselves to be on the podium at the moment, though. They're 3rd and 4th. Well, somehow manages to stay upright, somehow manages to hold on to the lead.
Yeah, keep it pinned, crazy boy. This has been a massive bonus race for them, proving just why they were picked to come into the World Championship this year. They're still first.
2 laps to go. Sasaki leads across the line again, but here comes Slipstream City. Darryn Binder goes through to the lead.
It out with Gabriel Rodrigo through the second corner. Rodrigo's going to have the advantage.
Sasaki was lead. 3 men of this group that you would expect to see challenging for the race win. Slightly more experience for these 3 over the rest of the...
Ghosted his way forward to a victory in the past, although there you can see into turn 6, it's Garcia. How many moves has Garcia made on the...
Thought about a move there, did Rodrigo, on Darryn Binder. It is Jaume Masia, though. Many people's favourite.
Oh, they concertina up. It's getting really, really tight through turn number 9. Somehow they're all safely through it.
Well, that was a lunge from...
He's right in the middle of that pack. He manages to keep himself right in the battle, but he really did get in a sandwich there, Binder.
Look who's...
Antonelli. Race winner here in 2016 with a devastating late burst of slipstream on Brad Binder. His history about Foggia had 2 long lap penalties in Portugal and still found himself on the podium.
We start the final lap of the race in Qatar as well in 5th place.
What a way to start 2021. The top 14 riders covered by just a second. It's getting tight there. Antonelli gets...
Sasaki's gone down at turn 2 on the final lap. He's out of the equation.
The crazy boy going crazy for all the wrong reasons. Siaran Acosta, Binder there in 3rd place. He still desperately wants to mark this 100th Grand Prix start from the top step of the podium. Antonelli's been a little bit beaten up on this last lap. Antonelli is going to need something special to get himself back into the podium contention. Elbows out from...
So, half a lap remains in this opening Grand Prix of 2021. It has been a stunner.
It's all on the line here between the new Red Bull KTM IO teammates. I don't think Binder, unless he has a really, really strong last couple of
orders here.
No.
This is Masia. That is the rookie Pedro Acosta. Is Binder now out of touch? Can he do anything on the start finish?
Scintillating, sensational start to the year. Acosta can't find a way through at the moment. He's going to try and pick up the slipstream now. Binder with a...
The checkered flag is out, and he will hold on. Jaume Masia wins the opening Grand Prix of 2020.
Debut for Jaume Masia. Masia Masters Doha. He takes the first win of 2021 and absolutely makes the race winner, Jaume Masia. Enormous congratulations to the rookie on the podium, Pedro Acosta in second place. Another rookie, Ethan Guevara. He was 7th, but just 9/10 further back. What a way to kick off. What a last lap from Masia. Absolutely sensational. He did not put a foot wrong and he got the on really early, and Pedro Acosta just could not get close enough in the...